tell you my relationship with him was very different than Christine and his. I never knew till later on that they were really struggling, but he and I never had.
Janelle Brown stood firm, her voice unwavering as the weight of 18 months of heartache and revelation pressed against her chest. "I'm just not. I just don't need this anymore." The words rolled out with quiet finality. Her eyes no longer searched for understanding. "I've realized I'm pretty good. I'm independent. And I'm not going to stand here and be yelled at." She paused, each breath heavier than the last. "I just don't need it. I don't deserve it." And just like that, the illusion cracked, and through it walked a woman who had been pushed too far for far too long. Hey everyone, welcome back to Glogosipes USA, where we peel back the layers and bring you the real drama behind the scenes. And today, we're diving into something that fans of Sister Wives saw coming like a slow-burning wildfire. It's December 9th, 2022. And the flames have finally reached their peak. Janelle Brown has officially ended her marriage to Kody Brown. Yes, you heard that right? It's over. Not rumored, not speculated, but officially done. And the internet, it's already erupting in reactions. This wasn't just a breakup. This was an unraveling that had been brewing beneath the surface for years. In the last month alone, signs were everywhere. Janelle's vibe changed. Her Instagram bio changed. What once said sister wife now reads simply, almost defiantly, "Just me with a smiley face that carries the quiet strength of someone who has finally said enough." But before that smile, there were whispers, murmurs from fans, little slips from the family, and clues hiding in plain sight. Remember that TikTok live from Gwendolyn? When her friend casually asked if it was just Mary and Robin left with Kody, she answered without flinching, "I think so, yeah." And then, just as fast, the statement was walked back. Gwendolyn tried to cover her tracks, but the damage was already done. Fans had caught on. The truth had slipped. And in this family, when truth slips out, it tends to unravel everything. We've been here before, swirling rumors, broken statements, and media outlets jumping the gun. But this time, it wasn't just a sketchy tabloid. In Touch broke the story with a headline that left no room for doubt. Janelle Brown has ended her marriage to Kody Brown. And this isn't just any outlet. In Touch has a history with the Brown family. They've done exclusives. They've sat down for interviews, and they don't just throw words like official around without reason. Even though they haven't named a source, the tone is unmistakable. Someone close to the situation wanted the truth out. And let's be honest, we all saw it coming. Since Christine walked away, a shift happened. Janelle, who once played peacemaker, started stepping out of the shadows. No longer willing to be silenced, she found her voice. And that voice wasn't soft or apologetic, was bold, clear, and most importantly, hers. You could feel the change even if you weren't looking closely. Her body language in interviews, the way she spoke about independence, her newfound glow, fans noticed, her kids noticed. And Kody, he seemed more confused than ever, clinging to a version of the family that no longer existed. Robin remained firmly at his side, but the other wives, they had begun to drift. And for Janelle, that drift turned into distance. That distance turned into clarity. And now, that clarity has become her new beginning. So what now? Next, for the woman who gave decades of her life to a man who was always divided. We don't know exactly, not yet, but the shift is undeniable. The woman who once tolerated being second, third, even fourth in line has finally said, no more. And fans, they're cheering. The comments, the support, the love, it's pouring in. Because when a woman reclaims her peace, the world notices. And this world is watching Janelle Brown step into her power. This isn't just the end of a relationship. This is the fall of a dynamic that's been cracked for years. And the beginning of something new. For now, neither Janelle nor Kody has released a formal statement. But honestly, they don't need to. That Instagram bio says it all. Just me. That smiley face. It's not just punctuation, it's a declaration. And you know what? As Usher once sang, let it burn. Because sometimes, when everything falls apart, the fire reveals what was always real underneath. And for Janelle, what's real is her freedom.
Kody has not really had much contact with my children since everything really went.
If there was any lingering doubt, Janelle Brown made her quiet declaration loud and clear. Yes, her Instagram still references TLC's sister wives, but the bold new tagline simply reads, "Just me, no subtlety, no confusion." Just one woman standing on her own. And for longtime fans, that small change said everything. Janelle wasn't hinting anymore. She was announcing. She wasn't shrinking behind the shadow of a spiritual bond. She was walking directly out of it. And then came the exclusive. In Touch dropped the bombshell after months of speculation, on-camera tension, awkward interviews, and a notion of unspoken resentment. Janelle Brown had officially ended her marriage to Kody Brown. Not just whispered about, confirmed. It wasn't surprising. It was expected. But that didn't make it any less explosive. The source told In Touch exactly what viewers had been saying for over a year. Janelle is a strong, non-independent woman, and she finally realized she could do it all on her own. Let that sink in. This wasn't just a breakup. It was the quiet explosion of nearly 3 decades of spiritual entanglement. Since 1993, she had been Kody's spiritual wife. But somewhere in the timeline between the emotional chaos, the shifting rules, and the cold public indifference, Janelle outgrew him. That's the word the source used. Outgrew. It wasn't an accident. It was evolution. And the woman who once fit into Kody's chaotic framework had transformed into someone who no longer belonged there at all. This week's episode promises the moment fans have been waiting for. Janelle walks away again, but this time with the kind of silence that echoes louder than any screaming match. It was clear long before this moment that the cracks had become canyons. Just yesterday, viewers saw Kody explode, yelling, flailing, trying to dominate the conversation with volume instead of reason. Robin stood by, adding fuel in the form of subtle provocations, trying to manipulate Janelle into submission. But Janelle didn't take the bait. Not this time. Many of you in the comments have said what's become increasingly obvious. As long as she stayed, Kody would keep shoving her out, only to drag her back in. It was a toxic cycle, one built on his need for control, not love. And if we rewind to 2022, we'll remember how eerily familiar this all feels. Christine had announced her departure in November, and then the infamous Tell-All aired. Body language between Kody and Janelle, off the charts strange. Kody sat stiffly. Janelle's energy was guarded, uncomfortable. She gave him space, but not warmth. He admitted he wasn't in love with her anymore. She, in a moment that cut deep, called him her best friend. But even then, you could tell she was grieving something already lost. Throughout this season, Janelle hasn't sugarcoated her feelings. She's said out loud what so many women are scared to even whisper, "I don't know if I still love him." And that honesty, it wasn't bitter, it was freeing. She's talked openly about her independence, about how she values her space and her sense of self. She's made it clear that she never signed up for the patriarchal mess Kody tried to enforce. She didn't agree to be managed, controlled, or shoved into a system that constantly shifted to suit his ego. And yet, over the years, that's exactly what happened. Kody kept changing the rules. And the only rule Janelle finally accepted was her own. Back in January 2022, Us Weekly had dropped an earlier exclusive, revealing that Janelle was seriously considering walking away. At the time, it felt like just another whisper in a sea of speculation. But now we know, she meant it. Even back then, she wasn't bluffing. She was planning. She was preparing. And now, nearly a year later, she's done what many didn't think she'd have the strength to do. She left. In that same Us Weekly report, A source noted that one of Janelle's greatest motivations was Christine. Watching her walk away, watching the glow return to her face, the peace settle over her life. It lit something in Janelle. These two women have always shared a deep friendship, and behind the scenes they were having the conversations no camera could truly capture. Christine told her what freedom felt like. Janelle listened, and eventually she believed her. We're watching this story unfold in real time. It's not just a TV plot anymore. It's the unraveling of a marriage that became a performance, an obligation, and eventually a burden. Fans aren't shocked, they're vindicated. This moment has been written in the expressions, the hesitations, the strained silences for years. And while neither Janelle nor Kody has released an official statement, their silence says enough. Their reps haven't responded to press inquiries, but honestly, the public doesn't need a press release. We saw it coming, and now we're watching it happen. There's a shift happening not just in Janelle Brown's life, but in the entire Sister Wives universe. For years, the story revolved around one man and his complicated web of marriages. But now, the power has shifted, and it's not subtle. Reports from The Sun and Us Weekly, two outlets deeply familiar with both sides of the Brown family, are confirming what fans have suspected and hoped for. Janelle and Christine are planning their next chapter. And it doesn't include Kody Brown. A few months ago, The Sun broke the story of Janelle's official split from Kody. And the headlines came fast and heated, while some tried to spin it as Christine pushing Janelle to leave. Anyone who's watched Janelle evolve over the last 2 seasons knows better. No one pushed her. She wasn't manipulated. What happened was simpler, more profound. She saw what freedom looked like in Christine's eyes. She saw her friend break free, reclaim her life, and glow with peace. And then Janelle looked at her own life with Kody, the yelling, the condescension, the emotional vacuum, and made a choice. The aftermath, it's driving Kody absolutely mad, because this time it's not just one wife walking away. It's 2 women, strong, unafraid, united, forging a new path without him. And now we're hearing rumblings of something major. According to multiple insiders, Janelle and Christine are working on a spin-off series, a show of their own, a space that's about them, their journey, their freedom, their future. And not just any show, one centered around female empowerment, independence, and life after polygamy. Let that sink in. Life after polygamy. That phrase alone is enough to shake the foundation of everything Sister Wives once represented. This wouldn't be about dysfunction, yelling matches, or Kody's constant victimhood. This would be a fresh start, documenting how 2 women left the shadows, built a new life, and carved out their own empire. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, they're stepping into a new identity. And it's inspiring fans everywhere who've followed their stories for over a decade. Sources claim that 2 women have already started working together, partnering through their Plexus business and collaborating on multiple ventures. Janelle has reportedly been focusing on her health and well-being, which fans have noticed through her glowing appearance and energy. While weight isn't the focus, it's clear she's taking care of herself and reclaiming her power one day at a time. She and Christine, both now far removed from the emotional weight of Kody, have been spotted filming together for season 18. And let's be honest, this could be the beginning of a new legacy. They're not just moving on emotionally, they're cutting financial ties too. Reports suggest they're actively working to build a financial future that leaves Kody and Robin behind. Their goal, thriving home life for themselves and their children. A business model rooted in freedom and a platform to inspire other women who felt trapped in similar situations. This isn't petty, this is powerful. And while the thought of Christine and Janelle rising on their own might thrill fans, it's undoubtedly sending Kody into a spiral. The man who once prided himself on managing for marriages is now down to one, and even that one, Robin's, feels less like love and more like desperation. With Mary barely present, Perhaps only sticking around out of sheer resentment, it's clear the illusion of unity has long since shattered. And now, Kody and Robyn are left to face a stark truth. The empire they tried to control is slipping through their fingers. If this spin-off becomes real, and it's looking more likely by the day, it could become one of the most empowering reality series in recent years. A show not about dysfunction, but about healing. Not about the man they left, but the women they've become. Fans would get to watch them unpack their faith journeys, rebuild their lives, and find joy in freedom. After so many years of watching Kody berate, blame, and belittle his wives, the idea of seeing Christine and Janelle rise on their own is nothing short of revolutionary. There are still some loose threads, namely, what happens to the property at Coyote Pass. As of now, Janelle remains a co-owner of the land in Flagstaff. She still holds a loan on it with Kody, and technically, she still resides in the area. But legal ownership doesn't mean emotional attachment. And with everything we've seen so far, it wouldn't be surprising if she walked away from that, too, just like she walked away from the marriage. As we wait for an official statement and fans are eagerly holding their breath for one, the silence from both Janelle and Kody only builds anticipation. Will she speak during the Tala? Will season 18 show the raw truth behind the final unraveling? It's unclear. But one thing is obvious. Janelle is gone. Not halfway, not wavering. She's free. And as fans celebrate her journey, one message is ringing loud and clear across social media. Happy Freedom Day, Janelle. Let Kody and Robyn figure out what's next. Maybe they'll have to get jobs. Maybe they'll finally face consequences. But one thing is certain. The future no longer belongs to Kody. It belongs to the women who finally chose themselves.